Yo people, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my 25-26 Premier League table predictions. Starting off with the bottom three. I'll start off with the two that I believe are going straight back down. Burnley and Leeds. I just don't think they've done good enough business to stay up. And the quality in the Premier League is so far ahead of all the competition coming straight up from the Championship that they can't compete. And with Sunderland, I know they've bought a lot of players, a lot of good players to be honest, but it never works out well when you buy a bunch of players into a new team where they all have to learn the new style. So I believe that they're going to go down as well, but I'm not 100% certain with them. They're my dark horses out of the bottom three to stay up. On to number 16, Wolves. I haven't heard anything about their transfer business this season, and they lost their best player, Tuna, and they haven't replaced him really, have they? So they're weaker than they were last season, and the last season they didn't even do well at all. So yeah, I believe they're going to be 16. 15th, West Ham. They lost them again. They lost their best player in Kudus, and they haven't replaced him. They were shocking last season. Bowen has been carrying that team for the longest, and I don't know how long he can carry on performing as well as he has been. So if they don't get him any help, their defense is shocking. Their midfield is shocking. Obviously they got Paqueta, but Paqueta hasn't been the same player since he got the FA charge. If Paqueta and Bowen are on form, then they can finish a little bit higher, but I don't see that happening. So yes, West Ham 15th. 14th, Fulham. You see with Fulham, they've got good players. They've got a decent team. They can upset a big six team here and there, but they never seem to be consistent. Then they can never go throughout the full 38 games with consistency. Plus, we haven't seen any transfer business from them. I don't know if I'm just not looking hard enough, but I haven't seen them sign any good player or any player that would make them noticeably better. 13th, Crystal Palace. I know people might be shocked to see me put them this low, but the rumours are they're going to lose Eze and Gerhi, two of their best players. I don't think they can replace that quality, especially with them now being out of the Europa League and going down into the Conference League. It's going to be hard for them to attract players of the same quality to replace the ones that they're most likely going to lose, especially considering that now Eze is most likely going to go to Spurs and Gerhi is most likely leaving for Liverpool. But you never know with Palace. They have a good manager, still some good players left, but the quality that they're losing is just too much of a big loss. 12th, Brentford. I was considering putting them even lower to be honest, because well, they've lost their top goal scorer and they're going to lose their second top goal scorer in Wissa and Mbeumo. Two crucial players, and they've lost their manager. The manager that seemingly was able to work with scraps and make their team perform. Them three losses are just too big for me to even consider putting them any higher. Like, I wouldn't even be surprised if they were in the relegation battle. Number 11, Bournemouth. This is another similar situation to the Brentford one. They've lost their whole defensive back line, and I don't see how they can perform as well as they did last season. It just wouldn't make any sense. I don't think the players they've signed are of the same quality as the players that they've lost. So yeah, even with Bournemouth, I could have put them a lot lower because their starting lineup isn't looking anywhere near as good as it did last season. 10th, Brighton. I don't know. I feel like I should have put them a little bit higher, because at the end of the day, Brighton always have good players. But I'm not too sure on their manager. I don't think they've got a great manager. They've got great players such as Belieber and Mitoma, but I just wasn't as impressed with them last season, and I don't think it will get any better this season. So yeah, 10th Brighton. 9th, Everton. I think they will do quite well this season, especially with the players that they've brought in. Everton have always been a hard team to play against, and now with the quality that they've brought into the attack, they will even be harder, because they might even be able to play on the offense now instead of constantly playing on defense. Especially with the signing of Grealish. If he can go back to how good he was during his Aston Villa days, he can completely transform their attack. 8th, United. I don't know if I've put them too high, because they were shocking last year. Every week I was just watching a loss. I started feeling sorry for them. That's how much they were losing. But I can't deny the fact that they've signed a whole new front three that is undoubtedly better than the one they had last season. Sesko, Mbeumo and Tuna. Brentford's top scorer, scoring 20 goals. Wolves' top scorer, I'm not sure how much he scored, but I think it's between 15 and 20. And Sesko, a talent, a prospect. He's not the finished article yet, We don't know how well he will do in the Premier League, but he's a promising, exciting talent, I'll say. So that is undoubtedly better than their starting three last season. But I still have concerns over their midfield. Their midfield for Amorim's system is terrible. You can't play Casemiro and Bruno, and you can't play Bruno and Mino in the midfield because it just doesn't work. You don't have the legs, you don't have the defensive awareness, and when you think about Ugarte is just rubbish. He can't do the job of an Amorim midfielder, even though he played for Amorim's previous team, if you get what I mean. So if they get this signing of Baleba over the line, which I don't think they will, because I don't think United have got the cash, even though they pretend to be broke and somehow end up spending 250 million. I don't think they will spend 100 plus million on Baleba, because Brighton value him as the same price or more than Caicedo, and Chelsea paid 115 million for him. So United aren't going to fork out that money, and United are notoriously terrible negotiators. But yeah, United have got a good squad, a good set of players. To be honest, I think the manager is holding them back. If Amorim is sacked or early on next season and they get a more competent manager, I think they will do really, really well. 7th, Forest. I think I made a mistake putting them this high because I don't think they will do as well as they did last season, even though they were in the lead to get top 4, and they completely discombobulated. They've lost their best winger in Elanga, but everybody else has pretty much stayed the same. They haven't lost any more players, to my knowledge. I'm not 100% certain, but to my knowledge, they have pretty much the same team, excluding Elanga from last season. But either way, I don't think they have enough quality to sustain how well they performed last season. And either way, with teams like that, they get found out. And when you get found out, you need a player of supreme quality to get you out of these tricky situations. And they don't have a player of that quality. I know it's rumoured that they signed James McAtee from City for their midfield, but I don't know. I don't think their signings have been even level raising, if you get what I mean, because I think they already had players of that caliber, and again, in losing one of your best wingers, I don't think the team has actually even gotten any better. In fact, I think it's gone worse. Number 6, Newcastle. I put them 6th because I don't believe they're going to lose Isak. I believe they're going to keep Isak, and Isak is a guaranteed 20 plus goal striker. And goals get you wins, and goals get you higher up in the table. So if they don't lose him, 6th is where they'll finish, because at the end of the day, they have a good team. I know they've missed out on a lot of targets, a lot of targets. They've been rejected left, right and centre. But even if you took their team from last season into this season, their team is still better than majority of the league. So I have no reason not to put them as high as 6th, especially if they keep Isak, which, yeah, like I said, I think they will. Number 5, Tottenham. I think they will do quite well this season. And I know they lost yesterday against PSG, but they played a decent game. With Thomas Frank as their manager now, someone that I regard as a top-end Premier League manager. Not elite or anything like that, but a very, very good Premier League manager. And the signings that Tottenham are trying to get over the line, if they get over the line, I think 5th is very comfortable. Like signings like Savinho from City, Eze, and they've already got Kudus, completely transforms their attack. So Tottenham 5th wouldn't be a surprise, like, to be honest. If they get all of their signings over the line, I could see them breaking into the top 4 over one of the upcoming teams that I'm going to mention. So moving on to 4th. This is going to be a shock to people, but Arsenal. I think the fatigue of finishing 2nd 3 years in a row is going to get to them. Like, their players are going to be tired. How many more years can they go on challenge and finish 2nd 3 times in a row? I don't know about anyone else, but I'm not impressed by the signings that they've brought in. They brought in Gyökeres, I know he scored a lot of goals in the Portuguese league, but so has Dest Dos or whatever it is, if that's how you say his name. He scored a lot of goals there as well. Darwin Núñez also scored a lot of goals in Portugal. So to be honest, all these goals in the Portuguese league don't impress me. We'll see what he does in the Premier League. The signing of Zubimendi. Yeah, a good player. Everyone knows he's a good player. They're signing him to move Rice from the DM position because Rice can't do the build-up that Arteta needs. And Rice isn't a good ball player when he's pressured. So they want to alleviate him of that duty by playing him in the 8 and playing Zubimendi in the DM, which could work. Like, I'm not even saying that Arsenal have a bad team. They have a very, very, very good team. It's just their attack is very lackluster. Like, just think about it. Saka, yes, good player. But I don't think it's going to be as good as it was before the injuries. I think the injuries are actually going to kick in now and damage him a little bit. I hope they don't, but I think they will. Gyökeres, decent striker. Their left winger is still either Martinelli or Nodi Madueke. That is terrible. They've only got one star player in that attack. One player that I'm confident can do something for them in that attack, and that is Saka. Everyone else could be a liability. But yeah, Arsenal 4th. And that is not hating. It's not because I'm a Chelsea fan I'm saying Arsenal 4th. It's because from the evidence of what I've seen, their team, their style of play hasn't improved. I think Arteta might actually be holding them back. I watched them and I think the only dangerous thing that they have is set pieces. And how long can that carry on for? I think at the back end of last season, teams figured out how to stop them set pieces because Arsenal went on a set piece drought. So yeah, if Arteta doesn't change his style of play or tweak it a little bit, I don't see them doing too well next season. 3rd, Manchester City. I was stuck on whether to put them 4th and put Arsenal 3rd because City's defensively and in the midfield have looked shambles in this preseason. They haven't looked good at all. Not at all. But purely, I am putting them purely 3rd based on how good Pep is as a manager and how well he can make players perform. There isn't really much else to it because I don't think their transfer business has been to the level of their transfer business in previous years. But if anyone can carry a team through a season, it's Pep, the greatest manager of all time. Moving on to 2nd, Chelsea. People will say I'm biased, but I don't care. I believe in this team. The direction that this team has been going in since last season has just been up and up and up and up and up. It's been going so well at Chelsea. And the players that we've brought in, the profiles that we've brought in over the summer have been the exact ones that we've needed. João Pedro looks like a hit straight off the bat. Gittins, tricky winger. Looks like he can take on his man whenever he wants. And he's got a decent end product on him as well. Hato, a player that was wanted by Arsenal, Liverpool, Real Madrid as Cucurella's backup. Not too bad. The only thing that I think might make us finish a little bit lower is that Colwill injury. He's practically out for the whole season with the ACL, but I think Maresca's built the system well enough to be able to handle the defence without him. Especially with a player that I think is severely overrated. Tosin can step into Colwill's position and it's up to whoever else. Fofana, Achimpong, Aaron. It's up to them to step up and take their position in the team because these players, I believe, are good enough to do it. So yeah, Chelsea 2nd. And number 1, as expected, I don't think anyone would pick a different team to win the league, is Liverpool. They won the league last season and they built on it by signing Wirtz, going for Isak, which I don't think they will get, but Ekitike, he's more than good enough. I don't think people realise how good this guy is. Wirtz and Ekitike alone, with Salah and Van Dijk and Konate, the best defence in the league. The only weakness that Liverpool have is their midfield. But other than that, they've got quality world-class players basically all over the pitch. They've got the best goalkeeper in the league, the best centre-back in the league, the best right winger in the league, and one of the best midfielders in the league in Wirtz, because I don't think he's the best in the league. You know, Cole Palmer's better than him. But yeah, their team is amazing. They've done well to replace the players that they've lost, or the players that are aging, like Robertson. They replaced them with one of the best left-backs in the league last season in Kirkus. Trent, they replaced him with Frimpong, one of the best right backs or full backs or right wing backs, basically a winger, in Germany last season. So yeah, Liverpool, as usual, they've done great business to replace the players that they've lost. So yeah, I think they're going to retain their title, but it will be a more competitive season this time. They won't be running away with it like they did last season. I think the Premier League table, the top 4 in terms of points, will be very, very close. Anyway, that is all for today. Thanks for watching the video. Like, subscribe and comment. Peace.